Oh, hello, it's me, and in a few seconds, Wheels, once he sits down. Because we did have a cable that used to extend the mouse all the way to the streaming table,
nice.
but it went missing quite a long time ago. Anyway, hi, welcome back to Dicebreaker and another Dicepainter stream, where we basically hang out with you over the internet and each other in a room, and we paint, and we paint things. This week, let me just get the chat up. Where's that gone? This week we are painting Star Wars Legion.
We are indeed,
aren't we?
Star Wars Legion is a Fantasy Flight Miniatures game.
Yes.
Which is obviously based on Star Wars. It's got some pretty cool, it's got a very nice rule system that I'm actually kind of interested in playing.
Yeah.
And I haven't yet. So the lovely people at Asmodee UK sent us a core box so that we could start painting them, and then when we were finished painting, we could do some playing.
We thought it would be a nice way to do some synergy between painting live streams and recorded Let's Plays. So I'm painting up some rebels, you're doing some damned Imperials, and between us we'll eventually get round to having like 2 full sides set up. As you'll notice, we've got an us cam and we've got a close-up cam picture-in-picture, so we don't even need to get out of our seats this time. And we can just get cracking. However, before that happens, Debbie is turning 31 this week. And in the chat before the stream started, asked if I could kick off the stream with a joke.
First of all, happy birthday.
In order to wish Debbie a happy birthday. So, happy birthday, here's a joke. To everyone else, I'm very sorry. So, a priest, a rabbi, and an owl walk into a bar. Priest walks up to the bar and says, "Barman, I believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God, sent down by the Holy Father to die for our sins, and thus I would like a glass of holy wine, please." And the barman serves him some holy wine. And then the rabbi steps up and says, "Barman, I do not believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God. I do believe that he was a real man. I just do not believe in his divinity. Therefore, I would like a glass of kosher wine, please." And the barman pours him a glass of kosher wine and serves it to him. And then the owl approaches the bar and says, "Whoo hoo!" Because he's an owl. Let's paint Star Wars. Let's go.
So
come on.
That's a real joke.
That was a real joke. I laughed anyway.
I've got another.
Oh, Marshall Hill is assembling some plague monks. Yeah.
Ooh.
Make sure you assemble them with the. It's one of the banners that gives you because they have no armor saves at all.
God, yeah.
So, but if they get killed, there's one. It's like a thing of pestilence whereby for every one that dies, you roll a die, and if you roll any 6s, the enemy takes a mortal wound because their blood is corrosive and gross.
Ugh.
It's really good.
God, I love Steven.
But anyway.
Right. Okie dokie. Unsubscribe. So
Oh no. Technically a nerd said I just stabbed myself with a needle at the punchline of that joke, so thanks for the injury, Johnny. Sorry.
Nice. I do have another joke, which is religion themed but in a family friendly way.
As if mine wasn't family friendly. It's a very well appointed bar.
I'm saying that you were also family friendly, so I can probably tell one that's similar.
Debbie says, "Oh my god, thank you," and that joke made my whole week. I genuinely laughed.
Do you want artificer layout or layout?
I don't mind.
Base?
I've got a small...
I usually just stick with a small brush anyway.
Cool, alright, yeah, if you want to stick with that then that's fine.
Cool. What are you going to kick off?
I am going to... So, these miniatures, could you swap that out for Mr. Skywalker, please, on the close-up cam? These miniatures, you'll tell from the helmets... Oh no, wow.
Oh, Darth.
Damn. They are, especially the helmets, they're kind of reminiscent of the uniforms they wore on the Forest Moon of Endor in Return of the Jedi. However, that colour scheme doesn't really excite me, so I'm going to go for a kind of Finn and Dameron posed jackets, where it's kind of like brown, like khaki brown with some real bright orange highlights. So that's what I'm going for with these ones.
Obviously, stormtroopers are just all white and black.
Yeah.
So because he comes with 2 sets of stormtroopers in the box, I think I'll do some colour matching so that you've got blue squadron.
Oh, so you can tell the units apart.
Yeah. So I'll do some cool stripes or have you seen that Have you seen that cosplayer who had like the red and white Adidas Stormtrooper outfit?
Oh my
I'm thinking
god.
like the reverse of that.
Cool, yeah, do it.
Yeah, so that'd be pretty cool.
I forgot to bring greaseproof paper this week, so we're not even using wet palettes, which feels weird. I've not used a wet palette in, God, 18 months now?
I mean, the only time I ever used a wet palette was that stream, so I think that'll be alright.
Bloody game changer.
Do we have an actual white?
Yeah.
Yes.
I definitely threw one in
Lovely,
there.
lovely, lovely.
I was.
What I remember, this one always goes incredibly dry, so we'll see how it
I was
is.
very bleary-eyed at about 6:30 this morning, but I did remember to do that. So at the minute, I'm just slapping on some of this kind of sandy base coat. It's called.
It's a very well looked after dry.
Thank you very much. I haven't used that one very much, to be honest.
Be why.
But yeah. I'm slapping on some Xandri dust. We're using Citadel paints solely because that's what I have. It's not necessarily an endorsement, but you know.
So
I know a lot of people like Vallejo and stuff like that.
I think I'm going to kick off with my little squadron leader here. So I've got a couple of different units here.
Sorry, Benjamin Bloomer. I hope I said that right. I'm so sorry. You can actually use the exact Adidas stripes. They lost the trademark for it due to a court case last year. That's interesting.
No way.
Will Sawyer asks what the nature of Tiny Astronaut is. Tiny Astronaut's Tiny Astronaut. I met Tiny Astronaut in LA. As far as I'm aware, there's only one Tiny Astronaut. You make a Tiny Astronaut what you will. Anyway, you carry on.
Basically, what I was saying was the Stormtroopers come with like a couple of different units.
Yeah.
So I've got one generic one here, which is just dude with gun.
Chris generic guy.
But we've also got big shooty rocket launcher. The commander. So the way this game works is you have your units, and then each unit has a commander unit. And basically, the nice thing that sort of makes it a little bit easier to follow is that you just move the commander, and everything else just teleports next to him.
Oh, that's really
So when you're
clever.
moving loads and loads of units, is you just pop your dude down and then ready. And if your commander's in cover, then everyone's in cover. And
I
stuff
like
It
that.
just makes it a lot simpler. Or if you can
very
see
clever.
one person in the unit out of cover, then no one's in cover. All that kind of stuff.
Got it.
So yeah, so I'm gonna kick things off with my little commander dude here, and I'll leave Mr. Rocket Launcher and Mr. Is it a DLT, DTL, something like that? Big heavy gun boy.
Dakin, lettuce and tomato.
Yep.
Good.
Cool. Right.
So this morning when we were sort of assembling these, I was recording our Parks review for this weekend. Spoilers, we're reviewing Parks this weekend. And you glued together pretty much all of your Imperials, and then I didn't have very much time to glue these together. So I got Luke Skywalker, and then I've got the dude that was on the close-up cam with the Forest Moon of Endor hat, and then I've got this alien guy. Basically, I've got two models that are identical twice. So I may as well just do a batch of three almost. But Darth Lettuce and Tomato says that fruit bat, that's clever. I forgot how difficult it is to... Wait, I saw somebody in the chat say BLT is my actual nickname. I got so confused. And then I was like, why is that the case? Their name is Billy Lawrence Thorne.
Oh.
That's awesome. That's really, really good. I forgot that I take my glasses off to paint, and that makes it hard to read the chat. But,
That's fine. I've got mine next to me as well, so I can keep my eyes open. Adam R, when will applicants for Dicebreaker website roles hit back? Asking for a friend. So I think it will be dependent on the HR department, I'm afraid, so we're not really involved in that stuff.
We also, given the number of applicants, cannot necessarily guarantee a direct personal response. That was a fun comment to read out, Will.
Yeah. I just read the first one that popped up. What is the purpose of figures? I'm super new to all of this. So basically we're going to be playing a miniatures game, which if you're very, very new to tabletop and you're not aware, the most popular one is probably Warhammer, either 40k or fantasy. So essentially a miniatures game is something where you grab little miniature figures of soldiers, and you can have quite a few different sort of variants.
Loads of different things.
Yeah, there's like car combat ones and stuff, and all kinds of little bits, but the most sort of bog standard one is to have sort of like soldiers or warriors. And then they'll be essentially moving around with like tape measures and then rolling dice to see if their guns shoot properly and all that kind of stuff.
Because each miniature basically has, say, a movement characteristic which tells you literally how many inches you can move that model per turn across the board, and then it'll have the range of their weapons, what they need to roll in order to hit, what they need to roll in order to wound. And basically, it's just like the games, you know, I used to play when I was a kid, was being like, oh, I'm going to bring this guy over here and pew, 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 I'm going to shoot you. But there are actual codified rules. And they're quite good fun. Very time consuming in terms of like a lot of them. In a good way. Painting them takes ages. But also playing them sometimes takes forever. Like whenever I play Warhammer Age of Sigmar, I bring along it's become a ritual, but bring along a packet of Scotch eggs, and at the start of the third battle round we have a Scotch egg, just to pep us up a bit. It's sort of like
that's very on brand.
It happened as a joke once because I was setting up at the club I play in, and to my friend I just went, Scotch egg, start of the third battle round? He went, yeah. And the two guys next to us were like, they couldn't stop laughing, but they're also like, that's genius. And I was like, well, I'm going to pretend it was actually intentional then. And that's been the case ever since.
Yeah, so there's quite a few systems that you can play in, depending on what kind of stuff you're into. As I said, Warhammer's one of the most popular ones. They started off, obviously Games Workshop are one of the sort of bigger entities in that space, and they're a British company as well.
They started off importing Dungeons and Dragon books to the UK, and then they started making their own miniatures. And interestingly, in a kind of full circle thing, the original rules of Dungeons and Dragons were adapted from a miniatures game that Gary Gygax had worked on. And then he was like, why don't we just turn this into more of a role-playing thing? So they did.
There you go.
Yeah.
Welcome to Fact Breaker.
Hey-o! Wouldn't Fact Breaker technically be us lying? We're still waiting on Wheels' joke.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, right, so...
Wait a minute, for a non-Brit, what's a Scotch egg? Oh, no. Imagine not having had a Scotch egg.
I don't think they're that nice.
Ooh, okay.
It's an egg that's been, like, hard-boiled. And it's surrounded by like sausage meat and then breadcrumbs. So it sounds like something that would be really nice, but usually they're from a supermarket and they're cold.
That's just because you're buying bad Scotch eggs. So basically, yeah, it is an egg that, to be honest, you can get them soft boiled and they're delicious. Because if you boil an egg for about 7 minutes and then plunge it into an ice water bath, you stop the egg from continuing to cook after it's been removed from the water, and you get a nice soft boiled egg. That's how they do it for ramen. But if you then you peel that egg, encase it in sausage meat and breadcrumbs, and then stick it in a deep fat fryer and fry it for long enough that it cooks the sausage meat but doesn't completely harden the egg yolk, it's a bloody delicious treat. Anyway, tell us a joke, Wheels.
Right, so a priest is on a cruise and the cruise ship crashes and he's the only survivor.
Oh no.
Oh no. And he's stranded at sea and he's basically just clinging on Titanic style to a little bit of debris from the ship.
Yeah.
And then as he's lying there, he's really calm because he's very firm in his faith, and he thinks it's fine. If this is my time, that's what God has decided. If it's not, then He will save me. And then lo and behold, a ship comes along, sees him bobbing around in the water, sails over, and they try to throw him a rope and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, "Come on, we can help you get back to the coast, get you back to your family." And he says, "Worry not, gentlemen, God will save me." So they're like, all right, bit weird, crack on, off they go. Apparently weren't that worried about him. So they carry on, and he's waiting there for another, like, a good hour, and along comes another boat. And they once again see him bobbing along in the water, and they're like, oh my God, we have to help this guy. He's probably been out here for quite a long time, and he's getting a bit tired, a bit beleaguered, and he says to the people, "Have you come to try and rescue me?" And they say yes. And he's like, "I'll tell you what I told the other guys. Don't worry about it. God will save me." And they're like, all right then, and crack on. And it's hours and hours and hours that he's been out of the ocean now. He's actually getting quite close to probably drowning.
Okay.
And then a helicopter flies overhead, rolls down the ladder, and from above in the sky, he can hear a booming voice through a megaphone saying, "Sir, we can help you. We had reports that you're out here drowning in the ocean. Please get on the ladder and we'll take you up." And he shouts back to them, "Look, I've made this very clear. God will save me. I don't need anyone out here to come and help me.
Okay.
My Lord will bring me back." So they're, once again, very confused, and they go away.
Who are these people? Okay. Yeah, carry on.
So,
Yeah.
so time goes on, and the priest is out there bobbing in the water, and eventually he's a bit old. He's not actually supposed to be swimming in an ocean for hours and hours on end. And unfortunately, he drowns. And he was a good person, so he goes to heaven, and he goes through the gates of St. Peter, and he meets God.
Yeah.
And he says, God, why didn't you save me? And God says, I sent you 2 bloody boats and a helicopter. What more did you want?
And mine was the anti-joke.
Mine had an actual punchline.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, God.
The thing is, when you were telling that, I was like, oh, this is going to be like, it's going to be like a parable at school where they were like, no, but God said, I did try and help. You just didn't look up and see the fellow man or something.
Kind of was.
And it is that, he just sounds exasperated. Good news, Roberto liked both jokes.
Yeah, I just saw that. The Quackinator just says, lol, which is good.
Yeah.
Debbie says, okay, but I think an owl would have made that joke better.
Agreed.
That's probably a fair comment. Maybe if the owl was waiting for God to say.
What colour should I make Luke Skywalker?
Sorry?
I'm just wondering what colour to make Luke Skywalker's
Oh, like Jedi or non-Jedi.
garb. Yeah. Well, he's dressed in the same way he is in, I was about to say Return of the King, the third one. Like, I don't know. Let me know in the chat.
There's cards with art of him, and some of them have him in white, and some of them have him in black. So it's kind of not really helpful.
Nice one, Luke.
Does he have one hand? Is that a robot hand, or is that a real hand?
I haven't painted it yet. I don't know.
I think that's a real hand, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon go for the old brown garb.
Fruitbat saying Dicebreaker pink.
That is also an option.
I mean, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't say no. What was the? Was it Caledor? It was Caledor Sky we bought last time. Damn, and that
Cantor
paint.
Blue.
That was Cantor Blue.
Yeah.
So Caledor Sky was the one that leaked after the last time. Oh well, that's fine. Yeah, I'll do them in Dicebreaker colours. Sod it.
Really? Nice.
Yeah, why not? Lots of people are talking about 10 Candles in the chat. Some people have been running it. Some people are planning to play it.
Yeah, 10 Candles is fantastic.
It's really good.
And you can grab it for very, very cheap as a PDF. And the designer actually reached out to us and said, thank you to everyone who's been purchasing it.
Ow, ow, ow.
So if you did grab a copy, then I think you've actually done something very, very nice for someone.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like he was in a position where he needed the help, kind of thing.
Well, I'm glad we could inadvertently help. Somebody just asked, where's it gone? La 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 la. Are we planning to turn on super chats? Yes, at some point. I think we need to hit a certain size before we're allowed to do that. So eventually, basically. Don't know
Surely whatever size I need to hit, I've already hit it.
David Tower says, I don't know if you're doing a Q&A thing. We are, but do you play Star Realms, and what expansions would you recommend?
I haven't played any of the expansions, I'm afraid. The core set's really, really good, though, yeah.
I've not played it, but I do hear great things. Johnny, what's your opinion of the new Ghost song? I didn't know there was a new Ghost song, so I'm of the opinion that that's exciting. I'm also painting Luke Skywalker's bum.
Hey, we're the ghosts.
That's not what they sound like. They sound like if Blue Oyster Cult started worshipping Satan. You stop that. It's one of my favourite bands. Painting a Jedi.
Hey, you stop that. That's one of my favourite bands.
Painting a Jedi?
Yeah.
I don't blame you, mate. Absolutely cracking band.
The X is so that we know where the optimal place to put the miniature is.
For focal length.
We are incredibly professional, is why.
Yep. We've even blue tacked the paper down onto the table.
Hell yeah, we did.
I was, earlier, to be honest, I was all for just writing on the table, but Wheels was like, meh. If we just get some blue tack, Johnny, we could not deface public property. Public property? Company property.
Private property.
Private. Yep. I remember Private Property. He was a good man. Always kept himself to himself, but damn it, if you left him somewhere, you knew when you came back, he would be right there waiting.
I kind of want to do like a gumshoe style RPG now.
Okay.
No, genuinely.
Done. Yeah.
I have. Did I tell you about my Space Cop system?
Yes. Is this the RPG you made that was absolutely enormous?
No.
Oh, okay.
But also yes. It's not the one that I know that you're thinking about.
Okay.
But we did a sci-fi. I might just share the Google Doc.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah, I made like a sci-fi like.
He looks like he's in Starlight Express. On the train. Welcome to your fitness class.
Oh, you can give him a pink lightsaber. Hell yeah.
I'm also going to give, like, he's got little bags, like little pouches on his belt, and I was going to make those pink as well, which is why I've painted them blue.
Yeah, so we made like an RPG that was basically, it was based off a system which is like specifically for, I think it was called Gumshoe actually, where like you have like specific things that you're knowledgeable about, and then it's all just sort of like investigatory. It's pretty good. But essentially, we made one that was really dumb, where it was just called Space Cops Squad 20.
Right.
And we basically just invented a new universe. And then we made this sort of like system that's on Google Docs where you can randomly generate your character.
Cool.
And I set up this spread of 100 traits. And if you rolled below 50, they were negative traits. And if you rolled above 50, then they were positive traits.
Okay.
And you rolled a 100-sided dice online.
Uh-huh.
And then you had to have at least one of each. But you could have 2 negative or 2 positive.
Okay.
And then that just sort of like defined who your character was. So I was very adamant that like role-playing's more fun when you're given a character and forced to do something weird.
Yeah.
Instead of just sort of like falling on something that you've done a million times.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was kind of an aid of that. But it's actually really fun creating the characters because they're all really, really stupid.
Brilliant.
And I might find the Google Doc because it's really, really
Please
funny.
do. It sounds good.
Oh, I could generate your character right now.
Oh, good. I am starting to play in a Shadowrun campaign.
Ooh.
And I just made my character. And I'm very excited because in Shadowrun it's a very involved character creation system. Really very, very involved. But it's great. Like, love it an awful lot already. But my character is a sorcerer. Mm-hmm. She's pretty cool. She's called Echo. And like her whole backstory is that like when she had her awakening, and it was discovered that A, she was secretly an orc, and B, she had magic powers, a corporation were like, we want you to work in our security division. And she tried it for a while, and they moved her family, because her family was in a really poor part of town, they moved them into a nice apartment, blah, blah, blah. She didn't enjoy the weird corporate academy, so she flunked out.
It's bougie for her.
Yeah, kind of. But she's just a bit like, oh man, but I can't let my parents know I don't work for this corporation anymore. So she became a Shadowrunner to send them loads of money, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, you've got to buy your gear before you start. And there were a couple of things I really wanted. Because I was making this mage, this sorcerer rather, who's kind of like a sneaky assassin. And I just didn't have enough money. And then I realized you've got these things in Shadowrun called karma points. And if you want to, you can turn the karma points that you have left over into cash. And if you take a trait called in debt, you get more than twice the amount of money. You get 5 grand instead of 2 grand for every point of karma. However, that puts you 5 grand in debt to some really bad people. And the interest stacks up obscenely. They're basically loan sharks.
Yeah.
And I've gone, I think, maybe 25, 30 grand in debt to these really bad people just because I want my family to be okay. So every time we get money for a job, I have to give 25 or 30% of it straight to my family. And then I have to keep up with the interest payments. And basically, I'm going to get my...
Why would you want to roleplay this? That just sounds like real life.
It's really exciting. My character's going to get their legs broken, probably. So yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm excited about that. Also, I just put, because I really like doing base color, then layer color and everything. I've gone for that shade for the base colour on the flesh, but then I've got like a light flesh colour that I'm going to layer over the top of that, so it won't look quite so terrifying. But right now,
It's quite sunny on Endor, then, isn't it?
it is a bit, yeah.
Good lord.
I mean, it's more like they're on Tatooine.
Yeah, I mean, Igor Studart dos Santos, who I'm sorry for saying your name out loud because it doesn't sound like that when normal people say it, has said that just sounds like student loans, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Why would you? It'd be like going, hey, Wheels, we're going to do a role-playing session. Welcome to this amazing fantasy sci-fi world where you can be anything you want, but by the way, you've got your student debt still.
Because my student debt in the real world didn't get me like amazing armor and swords and
That's the problem with student debt, isn't it?
yeah, and a magic focus, which makes me really powerful. And seriously, some of the illusion magic I can pull off is cool. So like, I'm excited, even if like it's gonna. The thing is, I like playing characters who are in a bind and have drawbacks, like the characters he was just saying that are stupid. Like my character's stupid because she got into a crap load of debt, basically.
Right, I'm going to find you this.
Okay. Yeah, drop it in the chat.
I don't know what I don't know what's in there.
Oh, yeah, maybe not then.
Also, it's on my personal email, so I might not.
Oh, yeah, no, maybe don't. Yeah, don't do any of that.
But let me find it.
Okay. I'm trying to layer over that flesh colour.
That's the one.
God, it's strange painting at a more relaxed pace. Last time I was absolutely determined to smash out that model in 90 minutes or however long we had.
Yeah, we've got way longer than that. So.
And yet I'm making some really stupid mistakes.
All right, I found it.
Yeah?
Okay, cool. So, yeah, so you get a name, gender, age, race, personal traits, origin, speciality, rank, vehicle license, and then inventory.
Ooh.
So first of all, we need an 8-sided dice, which I'll get online, obviously,
Yeah.
to find out what character race you'll have.
Are you just bored of painting stormtroopers? Is that what this is?
It's genuinely really funny.
Okay.
Google have flipping polyhedral dice now. Look at that.
Wow.
Right, 8-sided die. You are 6, which means that you are a Beeroop, which are fur-ridden beasts, giant and muscular. They are the largest of the races in the UA, which is the Universal Alliance, averaging at about 7 to 8 feet tall. One of the most distinct features of Beeroop are the giant phallic antlers that extrude from their head. The more ornate the antlers, the more effective at attracting a mate. The Beeroop were well established in the UA from the very beginning, were one of the first races to make contact with planet Earth. Their home planet is a lush green forest planet with flowing rivers and giant valleys and snow-capped mountains. They need copious amounts of fish to stay alive. Don't get on with glorps very well for this reason. Glorps are a fish people who are kind of like Earthworm Jim, where they're a big robot with a little fish in a bowl at the top. Kind of like Megamind, the psychic. So that's you. You interested? You want to carry on?
Yeah, of course I do, sorry.
Okay, alright. How do I do? There we go. 100-sided dice, please. Johnny's fearful eyes, says chat.
I mean, you were like, they're handsome and tall and strong. And I was like, I'm into this. And then you were like, they've got dicks on their head. And I was like...
Antler dicks.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, wait, this is rubbish. Where's that? Oh, is that what I want? No, it's wizard dice, isn't it? That's the one everyone uses. Dice roller, wizards.com. There we go. Right. 100-sided dice. So your character is number 82. Honourable. Yeah?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Rule following.
Doesn't sound like me, but okay.
And... Oh, you got a negative now.
Wait.
Balding.
I mean, it'll probably make my head dicks look bigger. So that's good.
Bit manscaping.
Matt O'Connor says, I'm glad this channel isn't family friendly. We're really trying to keep it family friendly.
We're doing our utmost. By the way, I was going to show off my first little close-up.
Please do.
I've just been painting him more white. So
Yeah.
it's not super exciting. He just looks a bit more white, which isn't great, so sorry about that. But I'm going to start doing some details now.
Yeah, I'm going to start sort of... I need a leathery brown. 2 thin coats. 2 thin coats. I'm going to just... Tabby's Giggle House, you did indeed join at an awkward moment. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately you got one of the most boring characters I've ever rolled, I think. But...
That was a boring character?
Yeah, that was a boring character.
Bloody hell. Okay.
Nummy Nummer says, note for wheels, more white paint needed.
Hello, Polly.
Right, I'm going to find out your origin story now. So...
Yeah, please tell me how those got on my head.
So you come from a junk world, and the reason that you left that world
It's because it was full of junk?
is because you were out of money. Which, I mean, yeah.
Out of money on a junk world? Ouch.
Do you have any family? You have a kid sister / brother.
Cool.
Not at the same time, but you choose. And
Oh, I see.
your one goal is to fight corruption. Which, being an honourable rule follower, that kind of makes sense.
So I'm Serpico.
Right, now your specialty, which is kind of your class, is another D10. And you are a heavy weapons expert.
Cool.
And your rank in the squad
Yeah, go on.
is... Lieutenant.
Oh,
There you go.
check
And there's a
me
character.
out. Brilliant.
Easy as that.
I didn't hear anything past head dicks.
Right. Okay, that's enough white now. Let's get some details. Decaffeinated drumsticks. I'm doing one that I wrote when I was like 16. That was on a Google Doc, and I was reminded of.
Just looked up through the window in the studio then to be like, who's out there? I can see movement. It's us. It's the monitor.
Reflection as well.
So I saw us. Good.
Everything is going fine. Right. Storm Vermin Fur.
Johnny, don't hold your breath or anything. It has an ASMR quality.
Okay.
Oh?
Lenormand says that's not how we pronounce lieutenant in the UK. I know that. It's because everyone in Space Corps Roll20 has a Brooklyn accent. So, because I was GMing, I played as the commissioner. And I was a sectoid, which is basically like an insect race.
Yeah.
And I was Commissioner Barry Bugman.
Okay, that's really good.
And then my opening line, when I was giving my speech at the start, was like, this job, it's gonna take a lot of legwork. And believe me, I should know. I got a lot of legs.
Good God. Wow. I mean, that is pretty great.
Oh, God.
If it weren't for the fact there's a lot of audience crossover, I'd steal that for the Oxventure.
I mean, you can if you want.
Well, no, they'll know, and they'll be like, boo, he's done it from Wheels.
No, they'll just be like, oh, that was Wheels' joke. What a nice callback. Right? Right, guys?
You never can tell. No, I mean, I get heckled a lot during the live shows, and during the pre-recorded ones, to be perfectly honest with you. So... As time's gone on, I've started dropping out more and more miniatures. I'm like, these alien guys, I'm not bored of painting them. I'm just going to focus on these 3 guys. And I'm like, Luke Skywalker, I'll come back to you later because your face isn't dry. So now I'm just painting the heavy gunners. But, you know.
I'm moving on to actual details now, which is pretty exciting. Let's give,
What,
let's
like
give this
the black
some
bits in
gloves.
between the white bits?
Exactly.
Wow.
I'm going with the dark grey to kick things off.
Nice. Oh dear. Oofed. Getting in between khaki uniform bits to try and do straps is reminding me of the character in Overlords from Age of Sigmar. Look at
Sky
that.
Pirate Dwarfs.
Yeah, the Sky Lads. There you go.
Lads,
The lads up in the sky, mining sky metals and fighting for order despite the fact I think Sigmar's a jerk.
They're not aligned to Sigma, though.
No, they're not. They're just like freewheeling metal mining
Freewheeling metal mining boys.
Duardin.
What could be better than this? Guys being dudes.
Barry Bugman sounds like a brilliant NPC, to be fair.
Barry Bugman was one of my finest moments, I think.
I agree.
It peaked. That was the issue.
Yeah. Is it heckling or is it good-natured ribbing? Meh, meh, meh.
Depends on whether or not you... There, that was a word. Depends on whether or not you are Johnny, I think.
Yeah.
Get your vines off my YouTube wheel. How dare you? Vines deserve a place in our hearts forever.
I miss Vine. I watch a lot of Vine compilations, to be honest.
Did you see that tweet that said, basically, because you know how when you're in combat in D&D?
Yes, a Vine is about the same length as a combat round in D&D. You can get quite a lot done in 7 seconds, it turns out. You can tell some pretty great jokes.
Yeah.
Or just thank your parents for an avocado. Thanks.
Oh dear.
Oh, you okay?
Yeah, white and black.
Yeah.
Just constantly going over yourself, isn't it?
Horse Lover 161298.
I wonder what their opinion on horses is.
I would like to know what Horse Lover 161297 is doing and why aren't they watching this stream. Hello guys, how far along are you? Really not very at all.
You'll be happy to know that I've put some eyes on him. Doesn't that look good?
Yeah. I think what we're learning slowly through these streams is that I'm a faster painter than you are. Just because I don't know if it's... I think it's probably impatience, because when I first started out I was painting Skaven and I was like, oh, I've got so many rats to get through.
I just don't want to ever paint a big army ever again.
Yeah.
I just want to do skirmish games again for the rest of my life, to be honest.
I mean, I've still got so much unpainted Skaven stuff to do, and Nighthaunt, and Skylads, and Warcry, and waiting in the sky. Not too much, or we'll get sued, or demonetized anyway.
They want to sing the song more, but they'll get demonetized.
Okay, it was worth risking it for that rhyme. That was pretty good.
Marshall Hill blames the two of us for getting him into the rat army, but they are just
kind of great
things in the world. So
yeah, the Warhammer Club, of which I am a part, has just started selling a T-shirt with the club's logo on it, in green, and the sort of 8-pointed Chaos Star, and it says "Seize the means of warpstone production." So obviously I bought one. It's very good. They've also got a D&D shirt that's like, kill the dragons, return their gold to the people. Which I like very much. There is Emma Benton says there's a Horizon Zero Dawn board game on Kickstarter, and she wants it for the miniatures alone. Yeah, I saw some news about that yesterday. It's coming on. Like they're quite far along in production now in terms of like actually churning out all the copies.
Spicy take for you coming up.
Go on.
One of the problems with Kickstarter is that I think about 50% of the people who back those kind of massive projects are just in it for some really nice models to paint.
Yeah.
And I think that gives the people making the game an inaccurate representation of how interesting the game itself is.
Ooh, spicy. Do you agree with Wheels? Call now.
Should have added a card with a poll. Yeah, please do call in to Dicepainter Live. Let's hear your opinions.
This is a model that's going to look like tut right up until the point I wash it, and then it's going to look different.
Then it's going to look shadowed. I do find that with pretty much everything, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the make look good water.
Yeah. This is a very brown grey.
Which one is it? Storm Vermin Fur. I think it's very blue, actually. I think it's very warm.
Yeah?
Yeah. You should wash it with Nuln Oil to strip that back.
Yes. Yeah,
good old Nuln Oil. That, for anyone who doesn't know what it is, is just a very thin black wash. It's just very, 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 very thinned out black paint, essentially.
For anyone who doesn't know what a wash is or what it's for, a essentially, when you put down your base colours, when you've like blocked out your colours, as you would expect when you were doing a normal painting, you would do the shadows and the highlights, right? So for the shadows, one of the sort of like top tips that most people who do painting miniatures do is they get really, really watered down dark paints, or you can do it with other colours as well, depending on what you're after. But if you just wanted, for example, black shadows on your model, I keep looking at that, even though I should be looking at the camera.
I know, right?
Yeah, then you just wash it, literally just sort of pull that really, really thin dark paint across it. And because it's really thin, it doesn't just stick like paint, it just drips into all the little recesses in the model. And then that is, of course, where you would naturally have shadows, where it's like underneath a sort of flap of cloth or like at the bottom of a neck or something like that.
Or the folds of a cape.
Yeah, and there you go. And then that will automatically make shadows for you. And it is literally, as Johnny said, make look good water, because as soon as you apply that, you're like, oh, I can paint.
Yeah, it's really nice. And if you don't know what paint is, paint is some anyway.
Shout out to our audience from 1600s who are still learning what paint is.
Our eyes are down here, Wheels, honestly. I agree, Nummy Numbers, he said, making the same mistake. How many people have we got watching, actually? Can you find that out?
Yeah, I can, actually.
Hello to everyone. If you are just joining us, or if you've joined us recently, since we last said hello, this is a Dicebreaker live painting stream.
426 of you lot watching us.
Hello, you're watching paint dry.
Whee!
We are painting some Star Wars Legion models.
Which is, from what we hear, a very good game.
I'm going to smack this guy down just to show you how far along I am with this lot, and turn it a bit, maybe. There we go. While I do the leather straps on this chap. Again, I just keep wanting to focus on the same model to get further through and show more of the process in the stream, but oh well. Oh my god. Joe B303 Gaming says, when painting my 120 odd Skaven rats for a tourney, I used a spray gun to cover all of them with Agrax Earthshade, which is a different wash. You know,
Agrax is even better than on oil.
Oh, it's lovely.
It's like a brown, so it's a bit more natural.
Delicious. At like Warhammer HQ, the scenery painting team, they just have a bucket of it. They just go boom and dip entire bits of scenery.
To be fair, that's
brilliant.
like for people who are super not into painting, but they just want painted stuff. There is a technique called dipping, where it's literally you paint it all a couple of colours. And then you just dip it in and leave it to dry.
Smart.
And then it's not going to be the most detailed paint job ever, but it still works.
Yeah.
And then for a lot of people, which is absolutely fine, that is absolutely fine to them as well.
Yep. We've got a chat from Jax, who is painting walls right now and is glad not to be painting alone. I'm glad we could help, although there's considerably less cutting in to be done here.
Well, do you know what's strange is because this is a miniatures painting stream, we don't know if he's painting scenery walls or if he's painting the walls of a house.
Or indeed what their gender is. That is true. Oh god, what if it is scenery walls? I am painting walls. What if it's the ice cream company? What if they're just painting sausages and ice creams?
What if he's a contract painter?
Sausages and ice creams. Paint them.
Yep.
Ice creams. I used to know people who undercoated in Tipex, says Nummy Numbers.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it, but that's interesting.
Nummy Numbers came to EGX Resd this year and gave me a beautiful illustration of Watson that sits on my desk at home, actually.
That's sweet.
She watches me while I work. And sometimes Watson is literally in the room watching me while I work as well.
It reminds me of that photo of the corgi sat on its bum like that, and then the painting of the corgi also sat on its bum. Right. This is just going to be hard. There's no two ways about it. I'm just going to have to...
What are you doing?
The little mouth bit.
Oh, this is partly why I was quite relieved when you were like, do you want to do the Rebels? I was like, yeah.
Oh, God.
Jack says it is the walls of a house, unfortunately. But
no painting contract for you.
Now I really want ice cream. Fair.
Balls. Go on. No. No, it's fine.
I think they're referred to as scoops, actually. Oh, wow! Show the class on the close-up camera.
No.
Show them what you've done. Oh, no.
Hold on.
Oh, your stormtrooper's been sick. Go on, show them. It's just a little slip of the hand.
Just had a whoopsie. I think this is a pretty accurate representation of how my painting's going so far.
Aren't you a little covered in sick for a stormtrooper?
So there you go. I promise it will look better eventually. Don't worry.
This isn't my tidiest work, I'll have to admit.
Yeah.
Bunbury says he's got a stash. Oh, if you did a load of stormtroopers with handlebar moustaches.
Oh my god, now that's Space Cops.
Poor trooper can't even stand up. I don't think it was the best glue I bought from the shop downstairs. I forgot my glue this morning.
Yeah, so another thing that, for those who aren't miniature painters, might not be aware of, usually you have to construct the miniatures when you get them because they're on like big plastic sprues. Just remind me of your Springsteen joke.
Yep. With Star Wars Legion, they are already pre-cut. There is some light assembly required, including sticking them down to the bases. I forgot my plastic glue. And plastic glue, I think this is where you were going with this.
Yeah.
Plastic glue, actually, I also made a joke this morning when we were talking about sprues. I said Spruce Springsteen. So he's gone. He'll be back in a minute. I forgot my plastic glue. Plastic glue actually does melt the plastic, so when it dries, the plastic forms a bond, and it is like one solid piece. So once you've glued something together with plastic glue, very hard to get it apart again without destroying the model. Super glue, on the other hand, which is what we had downstairs, when that dries, basically what it does, the glue just sort of holds the two things together and it forms crystals. These crystals can crack. So if you super glue a model to a base, all you really need to do is twist. There you go, and you break the bonds. And that's exactly what Wheels just did with his Stormtrooper in a fit of, I've just given it a moustache thing. So you can blame me for not bringing my plastic glue.
Can't blame Johnny for me giving it a mustache.
No, I mean, frankly, I'm delighted. If you'd asked me, should I give it a mustache, I would have started pounding the desk and yelling yes. The Castaway DC says Wheels is the light of Dicebreaker. I think that's fair. Unrelated, Johnny, how excited are you for Untitled Goose Game? So excited. When's it coming out? It's coming out in like under 10 days, isn't it?
September, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I'm going to be on holiday when it comes out. I think that's going to be magical. Anyway, yes, I can't wait. Use super glue if you're an angry person, and plastic glue if you can remain calm. Isn't he a little hirsute for a stormtrooper?
So what I'm doing now is, seeing as I've already made a big mess and will have to come back with the white anyway, I'm applying the Nuln oil into the crevices, and then I can just paint over the bits which I didn't want to be darker with the white again.
Smart.
Including most of the face.
Wow. What was that? To be honest, most of the time painting for me is just a series of going back and forth, correcting little errors, going in with another colour, having to go back a step to correct that. Less so now, like I'm a bit more experienced.
As with most arts and crafts stuff, it requires patience.
Yeah.
Which you can learn.
Yeah. But also it's about knowing when to cut corners. Because to be honest, some of the work on this has been a little bit untidy, but I kind of feel like I'm going to get away with it because the shade will cover it. You pass me that guy. There's a pocket here. I don't know whether
Wait, which one?
The guy on the X.
Yeah.
Do I need to paint that bit? Yes, I do. Oh wow, that is untidy. Brilliant. Yeah, no, leave him there. It's fine.
Right. Okay. So. Yeah, so I'm going to pop down this Nuln oil and then I'll start adding the white.
Ooh. Johnny and Wheels, what Star Wars movie has your favourite soundtrack? That is tricky. I mean, Duel of the Fates is an absolutely banging piece of music, isn't it? But Oh, Will's isn't a massive Star Wars fan, so
I'm more into the video game titles than the films themselves, if I'm perfectly honest.
go on then. What's your favourite Star Wars video game?
It's got to be KOTOR, right? KOTOR's fantastic.
Fair enough.
By which, of course, I mean Knights of the Old Republic.
KOTOR.
And not the Old Republic, which was annoying.
Yeah. I never really played many Star Wars video games. I played the pod racer on the N64 when I was a kid, and I think I played one or two at a friend's house, but I don't really remember them. The Force Unleashed was disappointing.
If you... oh, God. Oh, fucking hell. This has just been a day, hasn't it? I'll buy you some more Null Noil.
You don't need to. I've already knocked that Null Noil over. It's Null Noil. Sometimes you just have to knock it over, to be honest. I wouldn't worry.
Good Lord.
It's okay. Don't tilt. Don't let it throw you. You can't tilt just because a bit of shade got spilled. It's fine.
Oh, that's the table.
Rito Sin says, "Hi, Dosebreaker team. Loving the content so far. I'm going to start watching from the start now. We'll see you back here later." Oh man, we need a new table.
We really do. I feel like we needed one anyway, so it's
This
fine.
is true. Will Sawyer asks if either of us has tried 40k, and what's your army of choice if so. I haven't tried it.
I've played... So I used to play 40k when I was about 16, and we used to go to the local games workshop and pester the staff there because we didn't have any money, so they didn't really care about us. But my friend played Imperial Guard, and I played Tyranids. And then when I started working at CA, obviously we had Games Workshop stuff knocking around.
Creative Assembly, for anyone who doesn't know Wheels' background.
Warhammer. So yeah, they sent us 40k stuff as well. Every now and again. So I got another Start Collecting Tyranid set.
Oh, nice.
And I played a few games of that, and half of my models were the new colour scheme which I'd focused on, which was black fleshy bits and then white carapace.
Oh yeah.
And then half of them were the ones that I painted when I was 16 that I found in my bedroom.
Yeah!
And they're horrible.
Yay! I only had very few models when I was a kid, and I never played as a child. So then I started collecting Age of Sigmar. However, I do have some Adeptus Mechanicus models at home that I was given that I've not assembled yet because I've just got so much stuff to paint. But I mean to get round to it.
Yeah, Kill Team is also very good.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things about Kill Team.
Yeah, I've played more Kill Team than I have 40k. We did a little league at my old work, and it was pretty fun. So there's my top recommendation.
There you go. I am going to... You can see on the... Excuse me, Lord Vader.
Alex, he says
Excuse.
literally throwing shade.
That's a good one. As you can see on that guy,
Shut this now.
these little chaps have jackets with sort of shirts underneath. And they don't have that many devices on their sleeves, whereas unfortunately, I've already bust one of the aliens off the base just to prove a fact. These guys have a bit more detail on them, which I was going to turn orange. So maybe I will pick up one of these dudes. But yeah, I'm going to do their undershirts orange, I think. So there.
Take that, undershirts.
Yeah.
Always shake your paints.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a good tip. I think what I need to do is...
Got to prep my Paranoia one-shot later. Ever played? I have played Paranoia. Not the new version, even though I backed it on Kickstarter and I have a copy. I've only played the original Paranoia. It's great fun. What a good RPG.
I know the the premise of Paranoia, and it makes me very, very intrigued.
It's
and I do
lovely.
want to give it a go.
Good old friend computer. It's a great RPG about betraying your fellow team members in service to a giant sentient computer called Friend Computer.
The funniest thing about it, from someone who hasn't played it, is the fact that everything's color coded.
Yes.
And you have to have a level of seniority to be able to interact with certain things that are colored. So the example that they give either on the website or in the example book that I was reading was that you might all be driving a car and the brakes are not working. So somebody has to slam the big red stop button, but nobody in the team has the red level privileges, so they can't touch it.
I love it.
It's so good.
There we go. There's a bit of orange in the old chestal region.
Here he is. Yeah, they look pretty good.
Have you played Blood Bowl at all? I've played the video games.
Yeah,
and I've played Blood Bowl
pretty fun.
Team Manager, the card game. But I've never actually played the tabletop game. I own a second edition copy, but I have not got around to touching it because, as I said before, so much Age of Sigmar stuff to chew through.
Yeah, I seem to remember someone saying that, like, the most recent tabletop version of Blood Bowl kind of didn't live up to the now video game series.
Yeah, I think some people were slightly disappointed by it. I'm keen to try other things like Guild Ball and stuff, to be honest.
I really like the concept of Guild Ball, but I just don't like any of the model sets.
Mm.
Like, one big problem I have with, especially with skirmish games, is that, like, I'll be really interested in the system, and then I'll be like, yeah, I'll pick a warband, and I look at them and I'm like, I don't really care about any of these.
Right.
It's like, if they don't look cool, then I'm not going to be interested. I always found with, like, I ended up finding a really cool one for Malifaux,
Yeah.
but I kept looking through them all and I'd be like, these 3 models look good, but I hate these 2. And it's like,
Right.
if you're going to devote your time to buying them and painting them, and
It's tricky, isn't it?
yeah.
Wow. That grey works quite well, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah, so as I said, I'm painting over with white again to re-establish the colour that I've already built.
I'm going to pinch the storm vermin fur and use that on my backpack.
I'm going to start closing the paints when I have my arms.
It's fine. We've all knocked. I mean, at least it was one I'd already knocked over. Oh, Debbie asks who our favourite non-game related YouTubers are. The Try Guys, specifically Keith Eats the Menu from the Try Guys. They're just a really feel-good American channel. They're a little bit older than your typical YouTubers. Like one of them's a dad, a couple of them are married, but they're just absolutely wonderful. And there's a guy called Keith who I like. He's the one I relate to most on the team because he's just like, I don't know, he's a fun-loving nerd, but they get everything on the menu from a restaurant or a fast food place rather, and he tries like at least one bite of everything. They did one recently with Arby's, and he looked drunk on food. It was very, very funny. So,
I quite like. I quite enjoy the Polygon team that are currently doing stuff.
oh man, Brian
BBG, yeah.
David Gilbert's incredible.
Brian David Gilbert is fantastic.
The question was non-game related though, so if you could answer properly.
Okay, well, I really like Bon Appetit, who also have a version of one of everything on the menu.
Is that the BuzzFeed one?
No, I think maybe that's Vox.
Okay.
Can't remember. Vox are quite good as well. And I'm really into... Problem is, a lot of the stuff that I watch is video game. Although, was the question non-game related or non-board game related?
I think it was non-game related. Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry, I've completely forgot what my career is now. Video games are fine.
Yeah. I think, I'm really into like Game Maker's Toolkit. I watch a lot of sort of like video essay stuff.
Game Maker's Toolkit's great.
Yeah, Mark Brown's really good.
People make games, honk honk, really, really good. That's Chris Pratt.
It is, yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know if you knew. Wasn't throwing shade.
I was. Hey!
Oh, bam, bam, bam. Star Wars weapons are weird. Normally I'd be reaching for a metallic paint right now, but it's Star Wars, so I won't.
It has to be made of plastic.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do the same colour as the backpack?
I guess.
Sure, why not? To be honest, I'm just blocking in base colours at the minute. So then I can throw some shade. Then I can shade the model, and then I can start doing highlights. And
Someone
stuff.
must have made that as a really crap t-shirt already, right?
Probably. If not, let's make it a Dicebreaker shirt. I'm sure it'll sell in the tens.
Oh, God.
For those of you who do want to wear some form of Dicebreaker branded thing, we are working on some merch at the minute, actually.
Which makes us very excited.
Yeah. I mean, I worry that it's a bit hubristic at this point, but, you know, whatevs. What do you mean we're less than a month old and we're already making merch?
That's just how you do things now.
Yeah, sure.
It's such a mess at this stage.
1 hour in and Johnny is having an existential crisis. Joke's on you, the Castaway DC. I was having it before we started.
It never ended.
I had entirely too much caffeine earlier, I think. I don't know. I'm just also quite tired. You know, like when you've got a few days off coming up and you're kind of limping toward the finish line and having to do a lot of work to make sure that it doesn't pile up while you're away. And your body's like, okay, getting ready to shut down though. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go on holiday and then just collapse. Mm-hmm. Which is fine. We're staying in an Airbnb that allows dogs, so like... And we're bringing a dog with us.
You're not just expecting one to be there. Airbnb dog.
Johnny's personal channel videos give me an existential crisis. It's raw! Yeah. Bloody Gordon Ramsay.
I do watch a lot of Gordon Ramsay on YouTube.
Oh, I don't.
Because he has a YouTube channel where they've just uploaded all of the kitchen nightmares.
Amazing. Oh, any advice for a new RPG? I had my first session tonight and I'm super excited / nervous, asks Kate Dolson. Kate,
don't be nervous.
Don't be nervous. Yeah, that's kind of like it is solid advice, even though it's easier said than done. I would say, do not worry about everything your character is saying or doing in the first session being perfect, because you can adjust things. You can be like, look, this time, you know, like you could say at the start of the session, like, I was playing things a bit, you know, maybe I was a bit too quick to anger, or I was playing like a bit too rough, tough, tumble character. I'd like to take that back a bit and, you know, play them a bit more even-handed. Hope that's okay. You can retcon things. So just do stuff that makes sense to you. Don't give in to the temptation just to like be like, what did you say? And start a fight for the sake of it because you're stuck for anything else to do. And I don't know, just try and do something. Try and focus on trying to do one thing that is clever in the situation, I think. Even if you don't really do something for the rest of it. If during a combat you drop a chandelier on someone's head, I've no idea what game you're playing, so then they'll remember you for that. They'll be like, oh, that was clever, that was good. And the rest of it doesn't really matter. And everyone's on your side as well.
If you can, avoid combat as well. I think it's like it's a pitfall of people who, especially if you've played a lot of video games as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're like, oh, okay, this is the bit where we fight. And it's like, no, not necessarily. Like, a fight doesn't have to happen unless you want it to, or unless, you know.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
At which point that will become clear. Yeah, that's a good point.
But 90% of the time, I think you'll have your most fun when you are not fighting.
I agree.
Just don't seek it out. You know?
Yeah.
Kate Donaldson is playing Scum and Villainy.
Cool, it's good. It's the space version of Blades in the Dark.
Nice.
It's basically set in a universe heavily inspired by Star Wars. So yeah, we've got some coverage on Blades in the Dark going up next week. In fact, I'm doing a video on why you should play it because it's bloody great. And then we're reviewing Band of Blades, which is it's very much like Blades in the Dark, but it's more like medieval warfare, innit? So that's what we're doing next week. It's giving away our entire schedule.
Just not happy with this.
Oh no!
Oh god, it's so messy.
Why don't you just go completely off the rails then? Do something just real weird.
I always do that. I wanted to for once, just have something that looks like it's supposed to look like, but no. I think that is one of the difficulties of painting white. Is like as soon as you put any kind of shade on white, it just looks rubbish.
Oh, I very much avoid painting things like white quite often. Oh, good. Lots of people are talking about tips and things like that.
Do we prefer historical or fantasy RPG settings? When I say I do say fantasy most of the time, but when I say fantasy, I don't mean Dungeons and Dragons, orcs and goblins.
Not high fantasy.
Yeah, high fantasy. That's the word. I just mean something that's fantastical.
Yeah.
I tend to prefer something that's a little bit wackier, whether it's sci-fi or whatever.
I've done his back.
Look at that.
And his gun.
Oh, your boys are looking very good. It's almost a bit Beastie Boys, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Which is actually pretty badass.
Oh, yeah. We're going to fight the Empire for our right to party.
The Beastie Boys fought and possibly died for my right to party.
Very good.
So glad you got a feature reference.
I did, yeah, for once. Have either of you ever played Monster of the Week? It's currently my favourite RPG. This is Marshall Hill. I've not, but I have heard really, really good things. One of my friends, Dean, runs it. It's Monster of the Week is kind of like, it's a game where I think you're high school kids, and it is literally like there's a monster, go defeat it kind of thing. But you can play as different archetypes. I think you can become the Slayer or a Slayer, or you can be someone else. Like
it's like a Buffy style.
Yeah, but it's not exclusively like you are the Slayer. Like you can be all sorts of other things. I just can't remember what those other things are.
That's pretty cool.
I think you can be a werewolf. Don't quote me on that.
The Retronomicon says, sorry, going to miss the rest of the stream as I promised to take my niece out to fly a kite. Retronomicon.
Oh, that sounds great.
Absolutely lovely. Go and do that.
Really thought you were going to say dead to us.
Also that. No, go have fun.
Yeah, that sounds lovely.
I have a little niece, and I think she is the world.
How does she feel about kites?
I don't know. She doesn't really articulate feelings yet.
Oh, okay. I was about to accuse you, Uncle Wills, of being like negligent in your uncling duties.
Because like duties.
Kites aren't exactly like, top priority parenting thing. Like, I mean, I don't have a child, but I assume top priority parenting things are like keep child safe and not
child
dead.
Happy is one of them, though.
Keep child happy. Yeah. But like kites aren't exactly like the golden path. Like kites are definitely uncle things. Uncles are meant to introduce you to weird stuff that your parents haven't thought to introduce you to.
Sure, yeah.
Like drugs and Satan. Sorry.
Thought to or didn't want to?
No. Uncle Johnny don't discriminate.
Thing is, I'm going to be the cool board game uncle.
Yeah.
By which I mean, she will be playing board games whether she likes it or not.
Oh, that sounds real cool, Uncle Wheels.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
I can't wait to be like honorary uncle to my friends' babbies.
I feel like I'm already cool uncle because I got that Peppa Pig video.
Oh yeah, it reminds the people who weren't in that conversation.
Oh well, we can talk about it now as well.
Can you?
Yeah, because it's actually
good because you started.
Yeah, we did an interview with Brian Blessed at my old job before I left, and then I left and it wasn't announced yet. And I was just sitting on this information. I'd met Brian Blessed, and it was very difficult not to tell people.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he voices Grandpa Pig in Peppa Pig. So it was Joey's idea, to be fair, one of the other people working there. But she asked if he could do a rendition of Grandpa Pig for her daughter, and I recorded it as well for my niece, and then sent it over. And they were like, "This is amazing."
That's pretty cool.
I felt very, very cool uncle then.
Donatron says something else for Johnny's future imaginary child to guilt him over not prioritising kites. There was a time when somebody had a go at me in the comments on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Because I said I didn't want children, I'm not going to have them, in case I changed my mind, and then my child grew up, saw that video and was upset. It's like, that's a stretch, man. To be yelling at me for hurting the feelings of a theoretical child I'm not planning to have.
Dad, I can't believe 20 years ago you decided that you didn't want to have a kid and then changed your mind.
You know what, theoretical child that I'm not planning to have? If you saw that video and now watching this one, I'm not sorry. Take that.
Also, I'll see you on Saturday.
Not if I can help it.
Right.
I think that's tripling down. I wasn't counting.
Well, the double take is actually the first one you do, isn't it? So maybe it's the same thing.
Deep.
Was it?
I don't know.
It's too late to tell.
Yes. It's the data.
Yes.
You see.
Oh, somebody asked what that reference was, by the way.
Oh.
It's Oblivion, but very specifically, it's the Fav Bros. Is that what
La
they're called?
Fav, yeah.
The Fav Bros. They just do silly impressions of the quite janky audio
NPCs
that comes from the NPCs in Oblivion. So there you go.
It's all on YouTube.
It is. Just search for Fav Bros and you'll find it, probably.
Yeah. Favre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you heard of the High Elves?
that's the one. Don't go away, but watch those videos, and then all this will make sense.
They recently actually did a video with the guy who voices the Imperial Guard,
Yes.
which is so good.
You know you've made it when
Stop right there, criminal scum!
the person you've been aping comes out of the shadows to appear in a video with you.
So good. You violated the law. Such a good voice, though.
It really is. FFG is coming out with paint sets for Legion.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
Whoops.
I was Googling it.
Also, do we plan to play a game later? Says Darth Auditor. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
I thought you said Darth Auditor, like some kind of Sith tax man.
I mean, even the Sith need to do accounts.
Surely
right?
the Empire have evil tax people, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're the Empire. Yeah, we're planning to basically finish painting these up and then do a Let's Play.
Yeah, one nice thing about it I was saying before the stream started is when you sort of assemble them, they come on different coloured bases. So if you're like, oh, I just want to play, I can't wait to play, then you can just go straight away, which is quite nice.
Yeah,
I do quite like it when they
it's
do that.
clever.
It's like the Shadespire sets from Games Workshop are usually
Yes.
based in a different colour plastic.
Yeah, they are.
Right, this is looking slightly more like something that someone who's slightly competent would paint. So I'm going to have to stand
Go
him
home,
up.
Stormtrooper. You're drunk.
You have to stand him up.
You could always go get the super glue.
I could. But yeah, he's got a little holster now.
Yeah, he looks good.
He's got a
That's
great
perfectly fine.
some boots.
So he's getting there. Right.
Have you ever used a website such as Hero Forge to design your own custom mini? I'm DMing a pirate campaign. I have my captain mini arriving tomorrow. I have used Hero Forge, but I've never actually ordered from them before. However, somebody made me on Hero Forge and painted it and gave it to me at,
Oh my god.
I think it was Rezzed this year. So that sits on my shelf. In fact, I played in a friend came around and ran D&D at my house, and he likes using miniatures. So, oops. Take that, Revel scum. He likes using miniatures on the table. And he was like, oh, do you have anything you could use as you? And I was like, do I? I do. And I did.
Yeah, it's nice that because when you're doing a campaign with minis, you can just get them from anything.
Yeah, true.
There's no like official Dungeons and Dragons miniature that you have to use.
No, I mean, there are official D&D ones, but you don't have to use them.
You don't have to use them, is what I mean, sorry. Which is quite exciting.
Yeah. Although to be honest with you, prefer RPG campaigns without minis.
Me too, although that's because
Because-
minis are normally used for combat, and I prefer RPG campaigns that don't bother with combat.
Fair enough. I just, I don't know, I feel like when you're doing it with miniatures on the table, you put the miniatures down, everyone just immediately goes, whoop, and you are playing a miniatures game. Be like, what's my range here? La, la, la. Whereas with Theatre of the Mind, it stays a lot more, at least in my experience, just present in your head. I know there will be people who disagree with me, but that is one of the beautiful things about role playing. You can do it your way.
Just like Subway.
Yep. Yep.
Oh god, take me off this stream.
Oh,
My
it's
brain
fine.
is melted.
Are you guys going to do stuff at EGX? Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. It's been
We
announced.
are doing meet and greets, which again, quite quite bold of us, you might say. Doing meet and greets. We're doing live stage stuff.
We're going to play Codenames again.
We are. We're going to play Codenames with the audience. Basically, Wheels and I will be the Spy Masters, and we're going to carve the audience in twain, and then bring somebody up, each from the audience, to touch the words, and it'll be my team versus Wheels' team. We did it.
Bloody chaos.
Did it at PAX. It was a lot of fun, to be fair. So that's the plan. The Oxventure will obviously be returning for 2 nights. So I'm going to be quite tired by the end.
Yeah.
And then the following week we'll be, you won't be, I'll be at MCM London doing Dicebreaker stuff there.
I will be enjoying Abby's birthday.
You'll be, yes, you'll be on a holobob. So that's good. But yeah.
Right, he's just going to sit drunk in the background of the shot.
Oh no, he's been shot by my cool rebel. Oh God, go home, rebel. You're drunk.
Right.
Louise Chase's 21st birthday is EGX weekend.
I
What?
was going to paint a strip.
Dan Cohen says, will you guys go to PAX Acoustic? I'm assuming that's PAX Unplugged, and that's a fun joke. Yes, we'll be there.
I got weirdly confused by that.
Should I do the helmet, sorry.
The hat helmet, sorry.
Calm down, you're okay, man. Should I do the hat helmet in this grey? I should. It's just, you get more definition out of it.
I don't know what they're filming this time.
Yeah, me neither. Will there be a dick antler character in the next Ox Venture?
Oh, of course.
No. I have to keep things family friendly with the Ox Venture.
And I'll be playing them. Oh, God damn it! What is wrong with me today? I've just got red all over him. Oh, my word.
You've got red on you.
Yeah. Yep.
Jonathan Anubis says EGX is going to be amazing. I'm fully prepared to spend a full day just in the tabletop area. Yeah, we can't say too much about the tabletop area at the moment, but I'm certainly excited for it because video games are dead to me. They're not. I like them. I'm so close to Pirate Legend and Sea of Thieves I can taste it. I'm levels like 48, 49, 48 in the main 3.
I'm so close to throwing this model out the window, I can taste it.
We're in a windowless room, Michael.
Not true. I'd have to break the window first. But
I mean, if you can send that piece of plastic through that window, I will vouch for you and say that it's fine.
And also, you'll be quite scared, I imagine.
Probably, yeah. Well, mate, I used to work with Aoife Wilson. Come on.
Right. Let's read some more comments, shall we?
Go on then.
Outside Xbox says, what is dick antler? I thought you had to keep it family friendly. It's fine. It doesn't need explaining.
It's not.
Does it?
It's nothing the Ox Venturers need to concern themselves about.
Have you played any World of Darkness games, Johnny?
No, that's another one that I really want to do, and my friend Dean has. But long story short, no, I haven't.
I haven't either.
Next!
Okay. Would Wheels ever be a guest on Ox Ventures?
No. I don't know, maybe. Never say never.
They'll probably get someone better in.
Damn.
Where do you buy t-shirts, Johnny?
Sort of all over the place, really. This one came from Ann Arbor Tees, because...
I like the idea that this... I know they don't think that, but this commenter might think that there is one place that you buy t-shirts from and that's it.
I just go bin diving. This came from Ann Arbor Tees, because it's from a podcast I love called Hello from the Magic Tavern. But generally, where do I get them from? I used to just go to Threadless, but now I don't really go there at all. I don't know, like...
Shop in H&M, to be honest. They just do sort
You make it work. Nice,
brandless clothing.
nice neutral colours. Yeah. I don't know. The t-shirts I've been wearing recently. The Wear Black Eat Pizza t-shirt was a present, so I don't know for that one.
I keep putting the paints away and putting the model down, and then realising there's something that I forgot to do.
The Solidarity Not Silence one is from a charity. Well, I guess it is technically a charity drive called Solidarity Not Silence, which is about supporting women who are speaking out against predatory behaviour in the music industry. A very specific series of court cases going on, actually. The others, I don't know, just shop around.
Oh, didn't you like the t-shirts from that Dice thing, people?
Oh, Game Tee.
Yes.
Yeah, they're really good. They make tabletop stuff I actually want to wear. So I got a couple of hoodies from them. They do like a series of t-shirts that are like the RPG classes. I know Andy Farrant's got a few.
I'll tell you what I can do.
I'm going to fill in the boots and hat on this guy, and then I'm going to shade them.
I just had a cracking idea, Johnny.
Borrow some of this blue tack.
Hey!
Hey!
Meow, 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 meow. What else is everyone saying?
Some words, I imagine.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, look, he can stand up again. Look at that.
It's being propped up.
Oh, he looks much better on camera than he does in real life. Or maybe it's just because I'm looking at a very small screen version. I'm realising his crotch is very grey, or is that his like little
belt. Yeah, it's his belt area.
Looks weird on the camera from
The
here.
Cratchel region.
So yeah, basically, sorry, but that's the first one I've done to any kind of visible standard.
It's all right. What time is it anyway?
I'm going to look at Darth Vader now.
Go on, yeah, go for it. Go big, go home.
Let's get some.
Go big, go home. That's not the phrase. It's go big or go home. Go big, then go home.
Have a big nap.
Oh God, I love naps. Never used to like them because I would wake up and be confused about what day it is. Now I am seriously good at naps.
It's genuinely a skill.
Oh man, getting a dog changed everything. Sometimes you have a nap even when you weren't planning to, and it's just the best.
Ooh, that's a bit too much water, but that's fine.
Not gonna lie, sometimes I have a nap for lunch.
That's not food, Johnny.
No, it isn't. I started to grumble. I was like, "Oh, come up with a witty reply." Like, not the way I nap. It isn't. It's like I don't eat in my sleep. That's unsafe.
Oh, that's nice. Big flat cloak to paint. Much more.
Go on, your Sithy self.
Let's have a look at some more comments.
Yeah.
Leveled up your nap skill, apparently.
Yeah.
Broxison says dogs make any nap at least 5 times better.
Correct. Especially when, like, there are 3 prime sleeping positions that Watson frequently sort of employs when I'm having a nap. One, she lies down right next to me, so she's like pressed against my whole side, and then she gets her chin and goes over my leg, so it's kind of resting on my shin. That's a good one. Then there's the one where she's up and her head's on my upper arm, so she's like up here, or her head's just in my armpit. It's just like, there's the dog. Or there's one where I'm on my side in the fetal position and she curls up in the ditch of my knees, and she like really works herself in there like a little cinnamon bun, and it's just so comfortable. She does that in the mornings a lot because I wake up on my side.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh no, I need to get up and go to work, but the dog.
So comfortable.
I am going to close my laptop because trying to read the chat is making my head hurt.
Okay,
Because I'm not wearing my glasses. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Right, Debbie and Rue are both asking questions about Watson. One is, what breed is Watson?
Staffordshire Bull Terrier.
One is, how big is Watson?
Well, Watson is she's about 14 kilograms, for those of you who work in kilograms. She is... Actually,
She's just very dense.
no Watson sized. I know. She is. She's small. She's a small dog. She's sat on me. Her head would be about here. So sitting down, she's about that tall, probably.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's
That's
tiny.
possible.
But then, like, you know, obviously her butt's
Yeah.
like, yeah, like Watson's probably about this big, and she's like, her head's about that big. I can't fit her entire snout in my mouth, is what I'm trying to say.
Which you've obviously tried.
Yeah. And I've got quite a big mouth. My friend's got a Patterdale Terrier. Yeah, so if you know how big a Patterdale Terrier is, she's about an inch or 2 taller than a Patterdale Terrier. My friend's got a Patterdale, and
don't know what Patterdale is.
they're just gorgeous. They're like lovely terriers, like ratting dogs. And there was one time we were in the pub, some pints had been had, and I just went, stuck the dog's snout in my mouth and went, and he went like, and it was great fun. And weirdly, since then, he liked me a lot more. Like before, he was always a bit warm to me, but since that evening, I'm not saying it was me blowing in his mouth, but he's a lot more friendly toward me these days, which is nice. He's a lovely dog. In fact, if anyone remembers Chiodini's Kitchen on Eurogamer, did an episode once where we brewed beer at Hackney Brewery for The Witcher 3, and that dog is in that video.
Nice.
So there you go. That is a comprehensive.
Which means they're going to ask for game.
Shh.
I didn't know that was a thing until I joined.
Yeah.
So talking about it in the chat.
Yep. And the answer's still no. Sorry. Right, I'm just going to do a little bit of fixing on this dude's face because I've donked it up. And then I'm going to shade both of them. And then I suppose I should go back to Luke Skywalker.
I almost wish that these streams were just 2 hours of me showing stuff that I'd already done. Because I swear I'm not this bad at painting.
You can bring in models and show them what we've already done. That's fine. Or you can bring in stuff you've part completed and just carry on working on it.
Yeah, I think I'm quite keen to... I've got a big vermin lord, as I said in the previous one.
Yes.
I'm just going to actually start on him. He's just based and headless right now.
Based and headless.
Dicebreaker, do you have any interest in Clone Wars Legion or any of the other Fantasy Flight games? Also, thanks for the shout earlier. First time I've ever had a call out. Oh, that's
all right, Darth Auditor, as I will now be calling you.
Yeah, so we asked if we could have a look at the Clone Wars start set, but I don't think it's actually out.
Good. Yeah.
So we'll probably have that at some point.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, because that has some ripe meme material.
I've made Ghostbusters. That's what I've done.
You have made Ghostbusters!
I ain't afraid of no stormtroopers.
No,
I ain't afraid of no
Can't
Sith. That's one syllable, isn't
That's better.
it? Anyway, I'm going to shade both of these. It's time for the Make Look Good water. In fact, I'll keep one there so we can compare them.
Who are you going to send a hologram?
Should I use Null Noil or Agrax Earthshade? Because these are brown.
Good question.
Agrax.
Yeah, I think Agrax.
And I didn't bring the gloss one.
No one will make them look a bit too dirty.
True!
Oh my god, do you know, have you heard of Sarastro? The YouTube painter.
I think only through you.
Oh really? I've never brought him up before.
Oh, then no.
He did the sort of like tutorials for these guys, these models. I don't know if he was like commissioned or if he just did them. But they're pretty good as well. So if anyone is looking to pick up this set, then that might be a good way of, if you want to make them look exactly how they're meant to look kind of thing, then he's a good person to look out for. But basically, he did the ATST tutorial.
Oh yeah.
You can get an ATST. It looks pretty banging. But yeah, just the way he does like little oil drips and stuff.
Oh,
Amazing.
cool. I love details like
He
that.
literally just gets non oil and just like drops it into the little crevices and then just lets one little drip out and it just looks so
That's
good.
very smart. And that stuff is harder than you'd think.
Yeah.
Like I've tried to do verdigris on metal before and it's just been horrible. Like I can do it when it's just like panelled and an entire thing is oxidized copper, but when it is just like stuff sneaking out of the corner of a hatch or whatever,
Yeah.
I can't do it. It looks awful.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult.
Oh, speaking of awful, this dude's face.
Oh dear.
Actually, no, I can cut that back. I'll be fine.
One thing for anyone who does end up painting and would like some top tips, if you do get some Reichland flesh shade,
Oh yeah.
pop that over some metallics and it will instantly make it look rusty. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say pop that in the fridge for a bit. And I was like, go on.
Put that in your mouth.
Or failing that, if you just want to do easy corroded metals, you do a coat of like a metallic paint, like lead belcher, and then Games Workshop does a really good texture paint or technical paint, they call it, called Typhus Corrosion, which has got like bits of grit in it, and it's just really dark, and it just looks like really pitted metal. And if you dry brush some orange over it, it looks really rusted as well.
I've got a pot of their Blood for the Bloodguard.
Oh, that stuff's great.
Goopy gore paint, which is fantastic.
It dries sheeny. Right.
I've got one of those. Sorry, I cut you off there. I've got one of those Malifaux sets, and one of them is a big Japanese ghost of like a big twisted woman in a dress. And I've done it so her eyes are bleeding, like they're gouged out. Like big Blood for the Bloodguard drips dripping down. It's really, really cool.
So you can see the two rebels there. One has been shaded, one has not. It's wet, so it's not going to look like that when it's finished, but that will give you an idea of what shade is meant to do. It's meant to sit in the recesses there and just bring a bit more definition to the model.
Emma says, hello, Ghostbusters.
Hello! We're not afraid of any ghosts. See, I think you can already see.
I feel fearful.
You can see why we call that the Make Look Good water, because it just
gets in all those little crevices.
completely improves the look of the model. So that's good. So anyway, I'll rescue this one and start shading him as well. Bring this little stormtrooper back in. I'm not afraid of any ghosts.
Bling blong.
Bing bong, bing bong, bing. Could you get the door?
I thought you were actually asking me to do something. I was like, huh? What?
No, sorry.
Right. So, for anyone who wants a status update on what I'm up to, I'm making Vader grey so that I can then put a big black wash on him, and then he'll look darker grey, and he'll be pretty easy to paint, hopefully, because he's mainly just black and grey. So, I'm much better at models like that.
I bet you 20p someone in the chat has already typed Darth Grader.
Nice. Can't see one.
I mean, it's streams on a delay, isn't it?
No, I put it on low latency.
What?
I know, right? I don't know why we never did that. Now we can actually talk to people in real time.
Holy crap. Thanks, chat.
Vader Shades of Grey.
Okay, that's pretty good.
5 internet points for whoever got that reference. Oh,
50 Shades of Vader.
There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door. I believe is what they were referencing.
Oh,
there.
I see.
Linorn, which I think is an IT crowd reference.
Oh.
But it depends on if that's what they were trying to convey.
Fascinating.
I know, right? Was somebody at the door? Have you know Matt Berry in that?
I do. Matt Berry used to drink in a pub I used to frequent.
You told me that, yeah.
I think I've told you on video before.
Have you actually watched the new IT Crowd?
No.
There is a scene where he bursts into the funeral of his dad, and as he breaks through the door, he just goes, "Father!" which is fantastic. Somebody cut it over Chop Suey.
Oh,
Father!
So that's good. Very good. He's from Bedford, you know.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
You can tell if you listen carefully to how he talks when he's not doing...
Matt Berry.
Yeah. Which is seldom, I grant you.
Got to stay on brand.
Indeed. Talking of on brand, I'm gonna sort of... Here come the rebel lads. While the I don't know, they're confused. While the shade dries, which does take a bit longer than other things, I'm going to go back to Mr. Skywalker here.
I got a no wheels. It wasn't an IT crowd.
Oh, orcs.
No clue. No clue. Sorry. Have you played Fantasy Flight Star Wars RPG before? Edge of the Empire or any of those?
No.
I have a friend who didn't enter the Empire
books.
Campaign, and he very much liked it.
I feel like I said this in the 10 Great RPGs that aren't D&D video. I am reticent about playing games in worlds that have already been explored by other media, because I feel like if I ran a Star Wars RPG, my friends would be like, they'd just be looking around for like, when are the big guys going to turn up? And it's like, I don't want to have to pretend to be Luke Skywalker, you know. I mean, I'm sure that they would get on board with carving out their own story in the galaxy, but it's still distracting. You know, you're like, I wonder where Han Solo is right now.
I think part of my problem with Star Wars stuff is the fact that... Because do you remember that whole controversy when, is it 11/11 was cancelled?
13/13.
13/13, that's the one. Yeah, like, there's not enough content for exploring the universe that Star Wars is based in rather than Star Wars the story. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
And I think that, like, if you're doing a Star Wars RPG and you're waiting for Darth Vader to turn up, then I think you're kind of doing it the wrong way.
This is the thing, yeah. But that is the difficult thing about making other media like games or spin-off films in the Star Wars universe, is that you are authoring, you are making something in that universe, and it's hard to get away from that, which is, I'm sure, quite frustrating for creators, especially when their games get canned. But, yeah. What's that new one? Is it Fallen Order that's coming up?
Yeah,
that's kind of interesting.
Looking one.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I saw it.
We can be as spicy as we want about video games.
I know, yeah.
Any kind of authority.
I saw it at E3 this year and was a bit like, oh, there it is. So.
I feel like people have been waiting for a good Star Wars game for so long.
I agree.
Kind of just a bit hungry for it.
Yeah.
And they'll take what they can get.
Emperor's Children. A paint! Made from children.
Now available in the shade.
Watery children.
Come, Vader, introduce me to your watery children.
What, Luke on Dagobah?
Yeah.
It's a swamp planet.
Okay.
That's about as far as the joke went.
It's bad enough that I don't get the reference. You can at least make the joke be good.
Granted, we didn't know each other before we started working together.
Yes.
But I feel like we have been working together long enough for you to know the difference between jokes and jokes I tell.
I mean, it's good self-awareness.
Absolutely.
Look how grey this Vader is. He's really greying along.
Darth Grader, am I right, chat?
I might get the shade to sort of like be a bit thicker at the bottom of the cloak so I can get a nice dark gradient going.
I'm not laughing because I'm doing a little delicate bit of base coating, but that was good. I liked it.
Oh dear. I hate that when you're doing something like incredibly fiddly and someone tells a very good joke and you're like, I really appreciate that, or I'm really not in a state where I can make some movements.
I mean, Hello from the Magic Tavern, the podcast I'm wearing on my shirt, I listen to quite a lot while I'm painting, and sometimes I'm like, oh no! but actually, to be honest, I've listened to so much of it now that even the funniest things, I just go like, you know, like when something makes you laugh and that's the best you can do is just...
I remember when that was
like a startled deer.
Yeah, I remember when that was kind of called out of being like, this is really funny. I blew some nose air out for you. because that's like, because of the whole thing of like early internet language being like, laughing out loud, laughing so hard that my bum is falling off, like all of that stuff.
I remember that emote, yeah.
And it was just
I was
sort of
laughing
like,
my ass off, yeah.
Yeah. And it was just like, and I briefly smiled at that.
Yeah.
So you've earned quite a lot of credential. Let's have some more comments. One of my next meetups for my campaign is going to face undead lake children. It stemmed from a joke among our group chat by combining the quests that the DM posed to us.
Cool.
I quite like the idea of...
Undead Lake Children is just Jason from Friday the 13th, isn't it?
Yeah, true. I quite like the idea of sort of randomly generating something and then just working from there. So like having that sort of suggestions box kind of thing is quite fun, because you can have one person be like, oh yeah, cool, this is the thing that I wanted to do, but also it makes you think a bit outside of what you're comfortable with as well when you're a GM. It's quite nice. So it's like, how would that work? How would I do that kind of thing? And that's healthy.
I agree. Glad we had this chat.
Pink can be made up of orphan mush.
That's an Oxventure reference.
Got it? Oh, yeah, no, I've seen a few orphan comments before.
Yeah, I should have explained those, really.
Matt O'Connor is off to adult again, unfortunately.
Boo!
Boo, boo, boo.
Tell us what it's like!
I've always wondered.
Not hard enough to know, though. Not hard enough to find out, rather. Pink boots. Luke's getting pink boots. Giving him pink boots. Because I can.
I'm painting Star Wars miniatures, but very poorly.
I mean, I know you've not really seen much Star Wars, but I'm quite impressed that you're buggering up the main melody line. Okay, there we go. Paint the thing, make the thing, paint things. We're gonna paint things. In fact, we've been painting things for an hour and a half.
There's been very little change in our activity over the last few modules of time. Right, this is the tricky bit. And this is probably the bit that I should have painted before gluing his head on. Getting in between the two capes that Darth Vader is wearing.
I mean, there are always two. That was a really good Star Wars joke, and I'm furious that it passed you by. Siths always work in pairs.
Right.
So, in talking about Siths, there's a famous line where it's like,
some of their 5 a day.
There are always two. So he's got two capes.
Got it.
Because there are always two.
Got it. Where's that from? Which bit?
Yoda says it.
In which film?
Actually, I think it might be a prequel thing. It is.
if they're over-explaining something that didn't need to be explained, it's probably a prequel thing.
This is true. Yeah, I think it's Revenge of the Sith. Is the chat going wild for
One
that?
of the bad movies, says Matt.
There we go.
It's episode 1.
Oh, it's episode 1.
Oh, God.
Hello there. That's not episode 1, but you know what I mean. Midichlorians, something. You know, Liam Neeson made the sets on that film. He made production on that film more expensive to the tune of something like $300,000 because they would build the sets to the height of the tallest actor and then do green screen above it. Liam Neeson's really tall. I have shared that fact so many times, I just gave myself deja vu. It's one of my favourite Star Wars facts, and I know I've shared it on other videos. But this is the problem with working for the same company for 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know where I end and where I begin.
Have you heard my banana fact?
I'd like to, whether I have or not. I don't know.
Did you know
Go on.
that all bananas that you've ever eaten, unless you've gone to some more remote Far Eastern countries,
Oh yeah,
are just clones of the same banana?
I didn't know they were actual clones of the same banana.
Yeah. So essentially,
I've only ever eaten one banana in my whole life.
yeah.
Wow.
So essentially, during like the 50s or the 40s or something like that, when they were starting to do some slightly wackier things of agriculture, someone was like, "Yeah, bananas, they're good. Although it's a bit tricky to like grow them over here." So they started to sort of like pick the most resilient strand of banana that they could, so that they could grow it in more places in the world.
Yeah.
And once they found one, they're like, right, cool. This is bananas now. This is what all bananas taste like.
I mean, that ties into the taste of synthetic banana, which is a type of. It tastes more like a type of banana we will never have eaten.
That's part of the fact that I was getting to. Yeah.
Take that.
So that was the yellow Cavendish, I think. I
Right.
can't remember which way around it is. But then there was a banana plague, and all the plagues kept dying
All
because
the plagues kept dying. Bananas kept
all
dying.
the bananas kept dying. No, Candy, the plagues died. But yeah, no, all the bananas kept dying because they were genetic clones of each other, so that like nothing was
Actually more susceptible to the plague. They're all just equally really, really bad at defending against it.
Talk about Order 66. Am I right, Star Wars fans? Carry on.
Hi, welcome to Geeks and Gamers chat, where we're talking about Star Wars jokes.
Through the medium of bananas. Was there a fight over which banana they'd get to reproduce in the laboratory for people? Would you say there was Clone Wars?
This is a big boo in chat.
Oh, come on!
Boo. Yeah, so basically everything that's artificially banana flavoured actually tastes like what bananas used to taste like before the banana plague, the great banana plague that defined the nation.
Can't believe I'm getting booed for those excellent Star Wars jokes.
So yeah, then they had to find another strand that was resistant to the disease. So the bananas that we eat today are completely different from bananas that we taste in artificial flavouring because they're just actually different bananas.
Many
But yeah,
bosuns died to bring us these bananas. Did you get that one?
Huh?
Did you get that one? That was A New Hope.
That I sort of got that one.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think I did, but I'm not going to try and
It's the
explain.
Death Star plans. Many bosuns
Yes,
died.
yes, yes, yes,
Good,
yeah,
good,
yeah,
good,
yeah,
good,
yeah,
good, 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 good.
I have watched Rogue One as well, which is kind of the background of that, isn't it? Do you not like Rogue One?
There's rubs.
It was alright.
I'm excited for the Rise of Skywalker. Solely because Star Wars Day is brilliant. My friends and I all take the day off work. I've already booked it in, sorry. We go see it at about 6 in the morning. Because we've got friends who stay up and watch it at midnight and then they just go to bed at 3:30, feeling a bit sick, quite drunk. So we all instead get up around 5, go see it in the cinema at 6:30, watch it, then go have breakfast, and then when the pub opens, just go to the pub and play board games all day. Star Wars Day is the best. By 8 p.m, everyone has just gone perfectly mad.
I like the bit after you've finished watching Star Wars. That sounds great.
I mean, to be honest, we do it more for the stuff after Star Wars.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have a big long chat about the film, but it's good fun. Lovely Star Wars Day. And we were robbed of one last Christmas, because it's very much a Christmas thing. And we didn't do it for Solo. We did do it for Rogue One. So the bit afterwards was great. But yeah, anyway.
I thought Rogue One was serviceable.
I agree that it was a film
Yeah.
and that nobody can take that away from it.
Wow. Shout out to any Rogue One fans in the chat.
Get out. No, I'm joking. Your opinions are valid, albeit wrong.
Josh Vader says Star Wars Day should be a holiday. Don't give Disney ideas. They will probably try that. But there you go. What else we got? May the 4th is Star Wars Day, so something else.
Sorry, I've stopped making raspberry noises.
You can't just fart away all your problems, Johnny.
I don't know, I've been trying. Depends if all of my problems are gas.
Yeah, I feel like most of my problems are gas.
Yeah.
Or at least gas related.
Yeah.
I think, once I've done this handy bit, I think he's entirely grey now.
Nice. I am just doing the last of Skywalker's belt, although it really needs another coat because the blue is showing through quite heavily.
Good lord, that's vibrant, isn't
Yeah,
it?
look at this. Hold on. Oh, I'm just a rebel soldier. I'm such an exciting character.
Oh my god, look at that Jedi!
Doesn't look great, does it?
Oh, Johnny.
Oh, I'm quite pleased with how these have turned out with the shade, though.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we're filming that.
I'll fix it. It's Dicebreaker colours. And what?
It is. Right, who wants to see a big grey Vader then? Here he is. Oh, you can tell he's evil because he's not as colourful as the main character. Oh, there he is, looking all grey. So now I'm going to do a big wash on him. He does look very 80s, actually.
Exactly.
Like Starlight Express, actually, yeah, is pretty good.
I knew what I was
kind
doing.
Kind of tempted to get some green stuff and put little rollerblades.
He's a Jedi, not a train.
I mean, he could be.
Peyton Bryce says, I did a weird Hamlet meets Star Wars theatre show a couple of years back and we opened on May the 4th. I'm trying to imagine how that works.
Yeah.
Please tell us more.
Yeah.
Terrible Gamer YL says,
Message retracted, which I quite like. Redacted.
I think that's because they.
thanks YouTube. He could be a grey Jedi, kid. It's all gone a bit anime knockoff, says Spiddy Old from Firegate.
Luke Chan.
Just 4 hours of.
Oh, look at what the shade's done to this guy's butt.
Oh wow.
That is perky.
He's looking thick with 2 C's.
Look at these buns.
They look great, by the way, now they've had their
Womp
nice
womp.
shade dried up.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased with them. I feel like if I was just trying to knock out this box set, I'd be tempted to do maybe like just a very, very quick highlight and then just done. But I'm going to double down on Mr. Skywalker. Mr. Skywalker? Luke? Can I call you Luke? Of course I can. I'm painting you pink and blue.
Right. Need a nice thick boy to do some washing with.
Oh, the wash brush I tend to use is this completely knackered thing. Holds a lot of wash on it.
Perfect.
In fact, I bought an actual...
Rayman.
Yeah. I bought an actual wash brush and hated it.
Oh, I really like the wash brushes.
I don't.
I've also got one of those like really large dry brushes that are fucking language.
There it is.
Really good for.
That's 1-1 in Stream Swear Wars.
Really, really good for big models because you can just go all over them with a massive dry brush. Dry brushing, for anyone who doesn't know, is what usually comes
Very
after
good.
washing, and you get paint that is like really, really tacky. Not tacky as in like poorly.
It has a different
designed.
consistency. There's one. You
Yeah.
can show it in the close-up cam if you can open that.
So you'll probably be able to see that this, yeah, I can pretty much hold that upside down and it's fine because it's really, really thick and quite sort of like pasty. So you get a big dry bristled brush, that's why it's called dry brushing. So it's really, really thick, quite sort of like quite rigid bits of hair in the brush. And then you really work the paint into the brush so there's barely anything left coming off of it. And then when you just sort of like flick it over your model, it only gets the paint very, very lightly attached to the really sharpest edges of the model, and it brings out the highlights of like the sharp edge of the model, which is
It's a really good explanation, actually.
Thank you very much.
Fine, let me have a look at one of my rebels. What if I dry brush this gun just for funsies?
Just to have a look, see.
So, yeah. What could I dry brush over that? Some white,
like a
actually.
lighter grey, I would imagine.
Very light grey.
You wouldn't want to do white, though. Really.
No, not white, but... Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, bloody won't do it, I will.
Just for you lot. I mean, I'll finish sort of giving a second go on the old pink sabre. Oh, actually, and I should probably do Luke's hands.
Like, I need to look at Vader and sort of figure out what he actually looks like properly, because...
He's more machine than a man.
Got that one.
Yay.
Because it's like, you have an idea of Vader in your head, and you're like, oh, he just wears black, doesn't he? But,
The original goth.
yeah. But yeah, no, it's not actually really that simple, is it? And that looks really dull, so I need to find out what he actually looks like properly. So there you go. But yeah, I don't think he is like just black. I think he does have that sort of like grey, sort of like bluish grey that I've gone for here.
Yeah.
So hopefully that should come out quite well. And already I'm popping the shade on, and it's really bringing out the detail in this cape,
Shades are popping.
which is lovely. A nice Darth gradient. Right. The only thing going through my head, says Francis Bailey, is that Luke is now sky blue pink. Luke, sky blue Walker. I mean,
So nearly.
there was an attempt.
That's how we build a loyal audience. We neg them.
I think my main issue with that joke is the fact that it's not sky blue.
Oh my god, was that what you're going to pick?
Yeah.
Actually, you'll find it's Cantor blue.
No, it's just sky blue. It's like really light, sort of like cyan. Isn't
If it were Thousand Suns blue, or possibly Araman blue, then you'd have a point.
Hi, welcome to Gatekeeper.
That's good. I like it.
Oh god.
Oh dear. Right.
I'm sorry, that was a very good joke. Well done.
Wow, the sincerity. I'll come back to you, Mr. Skywalker. First, I have to prove to people what dry brushing is.
Yes. I'm glad that Darth looks at least slightly like what he's supposed to.
He's supposed to look however you want him to look, mate. Don't worry.
Well, not bad.
Could do Rakarth flesh, actually.
How it's gone so
Kind
far.
of a. That's a
I think that's once again a bit too
Too
light.
light.
What? So what was the base?
storm vermin.
So what's?
I've got no lighter grey than that. I just bang a bit of ceramite in there. Do a bit of mixing.
Yeah,
right.
perfect.
So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the base colour that I've painted that gun with. Oh my god, I even point the right way. That gun with, which is a pigment called Storm Vermin Fair, and I'm gonna. Oh, I need to put it. Oh no, this is awkward.
If you're wondering why all of these paints have such silly names,
Don't blame us. Yeah.
Citadel paints are based on the Warhammer world, which we talked about slightly at the beginning, which is one of the sort of like most popular. It is the most popular miniatures game, and it's all a big fantasy world that's sort of grimdark, and
Yeah.
a lot. They also have a sci-fi version, which is called Warhammer 40,000, which most people call 40k.
I do.
Right, he's looking pretty good now, so I'll let him dry.
Okay, so I've just added some white to that base colour to lighten it up. Lighten it up a bit. Lighten up! Yeah.
Lighten up a bit, will you, Vader?
Right, and then
Oh, he's moaning.
where's my dry brush?
Oh, my back's getting a bit sore.
Oh no, did I not bring my dry brush? Oopsie.
It's my problem with paint.
I'll have to use this base brush.
Yeah, that base looks pretty.
Oh, this base brush is pretty
Yeah.
boned. Okay, so now I've got like a kind of slightly old bristly brush. I'm gonna load it up with this paint. So there's absolutely loads on there, and I've got some dry kitchen towel, and I'm just gonna start basically wiping it off. Working it into the bristles. I wonder if I can do this. I'll do it on the close-up cam, why not?
Yeah.
And then,
I wonder if the space watch would be a bit better.
see if I can do this without also showing my bum to the main camera. There's my bum.
Impossible.
Okay, so get out of here, Lord Vader, and the Stormtrooper. You see that there, and then with the this won't work. You just start flicking it over the edges. That's quite heavy, actually. Damn it. No, that's a crap dry brush. Oh, I'll do it on the edge of the backpack. There we go. You can see it start to pick up those. This is the worst dry brushing I've ever done. It starts picking up the edges and giving it a bit more definition. So if you then compare it to the backpack, see that there? Like, hopefully, oops, crap. Duh. You can see the difference. Oh, you can see the difference, that's good. So let's repeat that carefully.
Oh, that's a lovely shot, Johnny.
Like that.
Look at that.
There we go. It's not a great dry brush, but...
At Fruitbat says, it's fine, the main thing is we get an idea of the method. And then Matigan says, an example of how to not dry brush.
I agree. There you go. Dry brushing. It's actually not too bad. Oh, there's a beard here.
We've got a request for a recommendation, Johnny.
Go on then.
Rito asks, what is a good game for 3-player that takes a couple of hours to play?
Wow, that is a broad question.
It is. Rito, give us some further information. What kind of stuff are you into? Would you like a strategy game? Would you like a puzzle game? Would you like a trading game? Like what are you after?
Yeah. You're so friendly. Drink your paint water.
Someone recommended Betrayal at the House on the Hill. I feel like is that better for more players?
Yeah, Betrayal at House on the Hill with 3 is not very good, I personally feel. This is the thing, is a lot of games, you know, when it says something like 2 to 8 players, then you want to be playing it with 6.
Yeah.
Or, 6 and up. Like, again, like Twilight Imperium is actually really fun with 3, but it's such a different game to even 4-player, and that in and of itself is such a different game to 6-player. It's like completely different realms. So, good 3-player games, though.
Can I recommend one that works with all of the player counts that it gives to you?
Go on.
There's Tashkalar.
Tashkalar is good. Yeah.
It's a bit more of a, if you're quite new to board gaming, it might be a bit more weird to wrap your head around.
It is a strange one, yeah.
Because it's a bit abstract, which basically means that the theme isn't super adherent to what the game actually is. There's a bit of a ludonarrative dissonance, if you will. So essentially you're sort of like slapping down tokens like you would in like Go, where you place it down anywhere, but you make a pattern out of your warriors, and you can sort of make the patterns that you have on the cards in your hand, and then once you create that pattern you can play that card and it'll do a special thing, and usually you have some kind of objectives, so it might be to destroy another player's tokens, or it might be to get some higher ranked versions of your tokens on certain spaces on the board, or make a pattern of their own. So that's one to look out for.
More importantly, you are wizards in the city of Tashkalar.
Yeah.
And you have travelled to the arena of Tashkalar in the city of Tashkalar in order to play the game, wait for it, of Tashkalar. So you in the board game Tashkalar are playing the game Tashkalar in the arena of Tashkalar in the city of Tashkalar. Tashkalar.
And just remind us what that game's called again, Johnny.
It's called Wizard Me Bobbins.
Someone recommends Sherlock Holmes Consulting.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Although I think, hold on, that was to Shane, who might be asking for solo games. Recommendations for single player. Yeah.
To be honest, Consulting Detective with 3 is a solid banger. Oh, Time Stories for 3 players. Lovely little wrap your head around the mystery game.
Did you know that they're bringing out a new version of that and it looks really good?
No.
Yes. I saw a little preview of it in the press bit at the UK Games Expo. And it's similar theme where you've got like you play through a little adventure and you have characters.
Luke, no, your face.
But essentially, the way that they've done it instead of going back through the same adventure over and over again, you play through it once, but depending on which of the characters interacts with the thing that it presents you, you'll get a different response. So, like, if you've got like I don't know, for example, a hostage negotiator is going to do
a wildly different thing to a hostage scenario than a SWAT team member might, for example. So depending on who you are, you might be like, well, what if I do this one because I'm quite good at persuading people?
Oh, that's really clever.
I do this thing because I like punching.
Because sort of background information, Time Stories and Consulting Detective actually are two different games where you play them through and then you know the secret, so you can't just play it again because you know everything.
Although the gimmick of Time Stories is that you're time travelers, so you get shunted back to the start, and then because you know all of the pitfalls, you can sort of wind your way around and become a bit more adept at it.
You loop your way through Time Stories a lot, but once you've done that adventure, if you were to start all over again, then you couldn't. But I mean, you could, but it would be pointless. So they're sort of games that you have to... It's kind of nice, actually. You play Consulting Detective until you're done with it, and you're like, give this to someone now. So it's pleasant.
The escape games kind of like that, or Unlock.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody was asking for one-player games.
One-player games.
Which is not something we play a lot of, but I do know of one called One Deck Dungeon.
Oh, yeah.
Can be played with one or two. And that's a pretty good recommendation.
One Deck Dungeon.
And I really, really, really like the core gimmick of it, which is that it's literally just one deck of cards. And then that deck of cards not only serves as the room that you're venturing into with the challenge that you've been presented, whether it's like a monster or whatever, but once you've taken that challenge, you can then slot it onto your character sheet in different sort of like ways, and based on the orientation of the card and which part of it is sticking out, it can either be an item, or it can be experience points, or it can be additional dice that you can roll or whatever, or like a new skill or something like that. So literally every single card has everything that you need for that one encounter, and it's really, really, really smart because it fits in a tiny little box.
I think that's nice because, to be honest with you, a lot of the times when people say they're interested in a game because it's got a one-player mode, it is the one-player modes are often just tutorials for people who have bought the game and want to be familiar with it before they teach their friends. So oftentimes when a game's like, it's a one-player mode, it's like, I wouldn't buy the game solely for this.
However, our first review, Villagers, has a completely separate solo mode with like an AI and like little events that happen, which is quite cool actually. So that might be one to look at if you've already grabbed it as well.
I know that Root has a fairly robust solo mode, but again, is it worth buying the whole game just for that?
Yeah, maybe
not. I mean, I love Root, I absolutely adore it, but it is a game to play with friends, so it's tricky. I feel like the game we streamed last week, the Choose Your Own Adventure game,
that would work.
That would definitely work because you're still making all the same decisions.
You still play with the same amount of characters too.
Exactly. Yeah, you always play with the same stuff. So it is a game that runs regardless of how many people there are in the room, which is good.
Darth's looking like he's picked up some good definition. Yes, he has, because he's
been working out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that also works. So now this is a perfect model to do a dry brush on. Because he is covered in ridges.
You just show them how I've given Luke Skywalker hair, and somehow it's tied the whole thing together. That doesn't look quite so bananas.
It's still a bit wacky, but it's a lot more like...
It's a bit more down to earth, isn't he?
I'm also I've got Vader about to force choke him as well, which is quite good.
Yeah.
Oh, that back palette looks lovely, man.
Thanks, I dry brushed it.
So, I'm going to steal away Mr. Vader here. Pop that guy in its place.
I am tempted to call this... I mean, I really ought to go in and go back in with the base colour and highlight the flat areas.
As well,
this is the thing, because I know we've got more to do before the Let's Play, I'm tempted to say that's as far as I'm going to take these guys, so that I can slap out the other ones and be ready. So I think I will. I'm going to call that Tabletop Ready. And this is another thing that's interesting about painting miniatures, is that you can keep going and you can keep adding things and you can just keep, tweaking bits and reworking things. It's about when you're ready to call it done. Because normally, if I were painting something at home,
all art basically,
this would be about halfway in the process I normally follow. But to be honest with you, for what we want it to do and for how happy I am with the way that looks, I'm going to call that done. And that's totally fine. The term Tabletop Ready is I'd be happy to play with that. I wouldn't feel ashamed of it, yada, yada, yada. I'm not entering a competition with it. It's tabletop ready. Let's do it. You know.
One thing,
Go on.
a bit of advice for anyone planning to start painting.
Yep.
Whether it's because you've watched this or just because you're interested anyway.
Show me that stormtrooper. Sorry, carry on.
Oh, that's the first one I did. I think it's a bit rubbish. Is to make sure that you remember your models will never be seen up close unless you specifically ask them to
So
do.
true.
You will always be looking at them from this far. What you see, right? Don't look at the small close-up camera. That's what they'll actually look like to you. So tiny little details.
Or it'll be worse actually, because I don't know about you, but I never sit down when I play Warhammer.
No.
Or any tabletop game. So I'm standing up. So like, that's what I look like standing up. My eyes are up here, and the models will be at closest here. So that is like, here's my eyes. That far away.
From your eye to my chest.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's bloody miles.
Yeah, and you
so no
won't
one
see-
cares.
And also, you can just make the tops look good, especially if you're playing like a big model count game.
Yeah.
You're going to have them in like blocks of units and stuff.
Yeah.
So like if they're all messed together, you won't even see the front of most
I
of
know.
them. You just see their heads.
But this is the thing, like,
Chill out, it's fine.
intellectually, I know all of this, but when I paint clan rats, I still go in, hold my breath,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
give them
yeah,
tiny little dot eyes. On the off chance someone picks up one of them, because it's so dumb. But to be fair, actually, one thing that makes me really happy is when I'm playing in the local club and people come and get right down and have a look at the models. I'm like, yeah, that is worth having a look at.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, you were saying the chat has something going
Yeah,
on.
so
Beatrice Ramos says, yes, in the theatre we say upstage and dimly lit. It'll be great. 100%. 100%.
That's
Very well
a
done.
very good way of putting it. Yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with those.
Good.
I'm looking at them now and I'm like, yeah, it's a rebel soldier. He's orange.
right.
What time is it? Oh, crap!
What? It's 5.
Yeah.
Oh god, I was just about to do a dry brush. Let me do a dry brush.
Yeah, of course.
I did put way too much white in this blend that I'm trying to make. Okay. A bit more grey.
Sorry, I know it's very unprofessional for me to be on my phone, but
Stream's technically done, so.
I had to answer an urgent question from my wife.
Oh. Okay. How was your wife?
Sure.
Fine.
Good.
So, as I said, you can see my little bit of kitchen roll. I'm trying to blot all of the paint out of it. So I'm just going to dab straight into it. And as you can see, it might be a bit more difficult to see on camera, but as you can see, these little paint lines are getting a lot thinner because there's less on there. You can also put it onto your hand if you don't mind a bit of mess.
That's true. In fact, I often do dry brush my thumb because you've got a lot of wrinkles there.
Yeah.
And it sort of, if the paint's not getting in the recess, but it is going over the top, perfect, you've got enough on your brush.
Yeah. So I'm just going to flick it nice and lightly over Vadware. And it's good for getting the little peaks in his cape and stuff as well, because you'll get the bits where the light will catch and stuff like that. And it's like, it sounds like I'm doing stuff that a professional would say. I'm not. I was just dry brushing. That's the great thing about it.
There are no mistakes.
Yeah. Happy little accidents. Oh dear. We went the whole stream without a Bob Ross coming in.
Somebody requested one earlier, that's why I said that then.
Fair. And to be honest, I probably should have waited for this wash to dry a bit more.
Nah, it's wet blending, mate. It's fine. This is the thing. There are no mistakes. Just tremendous bits of painting. With us, your friends at Dicebreaker.
Yeah, I think it's most prominent on his sort of frontwards leg there. You can see it's just, I don't know how it's going to catch on camera, but you can see it's just starting to bring out those little ripples in his clothing.
I've painted Luke Skywalker like Diva from Overwatch.
You have, and then we said that about the other ones, didn't we? Icebreaker is just Diva Breaker.
I'm so happy with that. Yeah. Great, well, that's...
I don't really like Overwatch, but I think Diva's cool as hell. So there you go.
What?
You don't like Scotch eggs. don't like Overwatch.
Oh, Overwatch is just bleh.
We're going to have this conversation off camera because that is all we have time for. We got carried away and we overran, in fact. Thank you so much for joining us as we have painted some Star Wars. Yeah.
The whole crew.
Group shot. Some Star Wars Legion miniatures for your entertainment. We hope you enjoyed it. To any Star Wars purists out there upset with what I've done to Luke Skywalker,
Get over it.
I'm not sorry. So yeah, that was our stream. We'll be back. I mean, we got loads of other stuff coming up. We, as ever, we're publishing Wednesday to Sunday, taking Monday and Tuesday off uploading, but not off work. We'll stream again. Not sure when. We'll have to consult the schedule.
I might be streaming on my own next week, right?
Oh yeah.
Or potentially with a special guest if I can find one. Because Johnny will be off work.
Definitely on holiday.
But yeah, but I'll sort something out.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And hang on, I've got this. And may the Force be with you. I couldn't think of a subvertive quote fast enough, so I just said the Force be with you.
And may you always be forceful.
And may I go change the and may the Force and may your time with the Force
And remember,
be
also with you.
advantageous to, and may the goodbye.